Hello everyone. Today we'll look into why we need a SG localization for company who operates in Singapore. So there are a few scenarios which you need a localization. The one which is your book currencies other than Sing dollars and your reporting currency becomes SGD, then you may need SG localization. Okay. So in which case we don't need, like if my book currency itself SGD, I can just use W1 version. Or if my book currency USD and reporting currency SGD, but if I don't receive GST invoice locally from SG customer, then I may not need this as well because we are not going to report or we'll just report zero GST to the government. So we may not take care of that. And some customer or partner prefer to use the AU because by default it covers the Singapore localization. So that case also you may not need localization separately. Okay. Right. So this particular scenarios which definitely we need a Singapore localization. Okay. So this is who need only these scenarios. So let's go into some detail why we need this localization. So basically, when we have a reporting currency as SGD and our book currency is USD, we post any USD invoice. Let's say it comes from Singapore customer itself. The standard system takes the exchange rate conversion from our currency setup. Okay. So for example, in our company currency setup, I define USD to SGD is 1.4. Then I receive Sing dollars, let's say for $100, for example, USD invoice. So it will post as it will take the exchange rate 1.4 and book into additional reporting currency. So since it is a Singapore customer, it involves GST. We must follow vendor exchange rate, not our company which we define in the currency setup. Let's say vendor provide the exchange rate is 1.3, then we book in our system as 1.3, right? So not 1.4. So this is what the mainly we talk about SG localization. Okay. Let's look into the system. So here I have a standard system, right? So let's change this to USD. So I transactional currency USD. So I do preview post. So it posts as 140, but since the SG company, it's operate in SG, this is involve SG taxation. Let's change. Let's put some taxation over here. Let me change it to VAT domestic and VAT 9%, for example. Then I do the preview posting. So it becomes $100 and $140. Okay. So the exchange rate which is taken is 1.4. So I don't have anywhere I could mention the vendor exchange rate over here, saying that it is 1.3, or even if I don't put the USD over here. Okay, so $100. If I try to preview post, so it is just always 140 because I have to book a currency. The invoice currency should be USD, but my exchange rate should follow 150. So there is no way we can keep it over here. So there is the another scenario as well. Let's make it to SGD. Okay. Right. So here so the standard exchange rate is 1.4 in our system. So if I put 140, I'll try to preview post. So it's perfect. I get $140 over here. So let's say due to some reason the vendor exchange rate is the conversion is 1.3, for example, divided by 1.3. Then for simplicity, I just make it as 130. Okay. So 130 SGB is going to be 100 US dollars. So if we post, so it happens here, my customer account and my revenue, the cost account, which is go 130. Whereas if I look at the direct cost account, it goes still 140 because it follows the standard exchange rate which we define in the customer setup, which we do not need this. Okay. Right. So to overcome this, we need a Singapore localization. Now, let me deploy the extension which we have, 06028. Right, so this is my exchange rate. Mm, so I'll change back to USD now. So this is USD currency. Put taxation as well. Then domestic 9%. So 140, right? So right now I'll just leave it as a 140. I do the preview post. So we got, no, so sorry, this should be $100. That's $55. Okay, so I did preview posting. So the standard exchange rate comes at 140. The cost account also hit 140. But the vendor has provided the exchange rate is 1.3. So thus customized field which we will update as 1.3 here. Okay. So now I try to preview post. So now you could see here our reporting currency which will follow 130 instead of 1.4 which we define. At the same time it follows for the cost as well. So all the calculation which goes based on this, as well as if I go back to our value entry, so I think it should follow that as well. Additional currency. Oh, there's no fee over here. ACY. Yeah. So the ACY which you could see here 130 as well. Okay. I think probably this also need to fix it anyway, but the actual cost amount which we posted, which has become 130 to the system. Right. So besides to that, there is a one more scenario also which covers, which is full GST. So the standard system, you will not have a base amount. How much is our full GST amount? So I put 563. So here I will say GST export full. It's export full GST. So I put $90. So I try to preview post. So if it is full GST, we need a base amount because when you submit the IRS, the report, you need a base amount. What is the base amount for this? So that's also an additional customization, which I mean the extension you have to put, let's say $1,000, some invoices, let's say just choose some purchase invoice which we have posted early without that GST. So now I do preview posting. Then if I look at my VAT entry, so the $90 will be captured. So additionally, the base amount, which is $1,000, and which invoice which we have posted with that also captured. So when we do the reporting, we will extract the data from this these fields to show the GST report. Okay. So this is this GST, full GST, it's also available in general also. I can book it, or you can use purchase order or purchase invoice order. Right. So to cover these scenarios, you need a Singapore localization. Please feel free to give your comments, and thanks for watching.